Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Justin and the Tuner. Today, we're working back on the Mazda again. Now, first off, I'm going to talk about how it did going to Nashville and back. If you watched the last two videos, you kind of saw how it did going to Nashville and back. Going there, it did great. I had no issues. Drove it around for a little while, you know, back and forth from work and everything like I normally would. Went to Chattanooga over the weekend, which is only about a good maybe 2-hour drive. On my way back, I noticed that it started running funny. So I just started. I drove it slowly. I didn't want to get going, too fast or whatever without knowing what was wrong. So when I got back, I ran the codes because my check engine light was on, so it was throwing 10 different codes. It was throwing a mass airflow sensor, it was throwing an O2 sensor, something about the fuel trim, and a couple other things. So I'm thinking now my mass airflow is bad, but it's also making this noise. This camera is like all jacked up today. Whoa, let me see. There we go. I think that's better. But anyway, so I was thinking that maybe the mass airflow, I'm gonna go try to replace it. But it sounds like it has another exhaust leak. I mean, obviously I know my exhaust isn't hooked up yet, but when you get on it and you give it some gas, it has this spitty type noise. I don't know how else to describe it. That sounds like an exhaust leak, and you can tell it's not boosting like it should, and it just sounds bad. But the engine sounds fine. So I haven't explored to see if maybe a gasket on the turbo, maybe where it hits the manifold, or on the manifold, or between the manifold and the engine, if maybe the gaskets have gone bad or something. But right now my main concern is to get these check engine lights taken care of. So right now, we are headed down to pull apart. Oops, I should have said that. Right now, we're heading to the junkyard. Okay, so we're in the junkyard. Gotta find my row as I'm passing it. Alright, so let's see here. Might be. Maybe I'm not passing it. See if we can find this car. Let's see. Nope, I think we found it. Nope, that's the 6. Oh. Looks like it's already been picked through. Let's see if we can find us some mass airflow. This thing's in pretty rough shape. Well, it was a success. We found one. Hopefully it works. We had to pull it off a Mazda 6, but it's the same thing, so it works out. I'm glad to know that Mazda 6 and Mazda 3 parts are interchangeable. FYI, for those of you that did not know that, as long as it's the 4-cylinder one. So let's get this home and see if it works. Okay, so we're back at the house. We're getting ready to replace that mass airflow sensor. So for those of you that do not know how to do this, it's pretty simple. Right here is our sensor, or at least that's where mine's located, on the intake. And we're back out here. There we go. So all you're going to do is just take off this clip, 2 screws, and that just pops out. And reverse process. So that's what we're going to do right now, and then we're going to reset our codes and see if this thing runs a little better. we got the new one installed. This one, I mean, it's still, this one still looks pretty brand new, but according to the the computer, this one is bad. So we're gonna reset the codes. We're gonna start it. We'll see if it runs any better or worse. Hopefully not worse. Okay, let's get this thing started. Okay, so we're going to read the codes real quick. Oh, it's only throwing 4 right now. Let's see, 2177, 0126, 0128, 2177. Let's see, 2177. Alright, I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to look these up real quick and I'll come back. Okay, so it's not throwing the mass airflow sensor codes anymore, but I did just replace it, and I haven't started it yet, but the codes that it's throwing right now is still for the thermostat, which I already knew that one, and then it's saying it's running too lean on idle for fuel. So I'm hoping that maybe it already sensed the new sensor and it fixed itself. I don't know. Didn't think that was a possible thing, that it could just erase its code. Well, maybe it can, I don't know. So what I'm going to do now is just I'm going to delete the codes that are showing right now, and I'm going to start it, and we'll see if it's running any better. And also, if it's still making that noise, if you watch the last video, I'm going to be investigating that next. It sounds like an exhaust leak somewhere. I mean, obviously it's got a real bad exhaust leak since the exhaust isn't hooked up yet, but it sounds like an exhaust leak maybe coming from I'm thinking where the turbo meets the manifold, or the manifold meets the engine, or I don't know, but that's what it kind of sounds like. And it's also losing a little bit of power, so we'll figure this out. But first, let's see if the mass airflow sensor is what my problem was. It does sound a lot better, and it's running more smooth. But one thing I did find out too when I was working on that mass airflow is my ground here, the thing that my ground connects to, completely loose, it's just hanging on the manifold. So that could have been a problem too. It already sounds a lot better, but alright, let's give this a test run. We're having technical difficulties with my camera mount. It doesn't want to stay, but so if it falls, I apologize. Alright, so we're going to give this a test run here. It's starting to get warm now. Sorry if it's shaking. I think it's definitely time for me to get a new camera mount. Guess that'll be on my list to buy for this week, or next week, or whenever I decide to make an order. I can already tell that it's running better. Sounds like it's still making that noise though. So I think we still got, I don't think that mass airflow is the issue of the noise. So I'm pretty sure the noise is, that extra noise that we're hearing is an exhaust leak somewhere. We just have to figure out where it is. But my main concern right now is just to get this thing running to where it's not dying and choking itself out and not having enough gas and all this other stuff. So right now just cruising. Of course I'm not going that fast. We're showing 16 to 17 on the air-fuel ratio. But let's get out here to where we can give it a little gas here. Definitely still making the noise. We're holding around 14 and a half. The fuel ratio just driving it normal. Now we're at like a cruise. We're just barely pushing the gas pedal. We're holding around 15. Oh, bump, 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 bump. Okay, good, the camera didn't fall. Okay. So far, so good. As far as the fuel's concerned, the thing's idling a lot better. Like you can tell that it wants to move a little better now. We'll get it up here a little bit where we can open it up. I kind of live in a little back road curvy, so. That exhaust leak or whatever that is, it sounds terrible. It's making it sound like a junkard. It sounds like a junkard mixed with a sports car or something. It's so weird. And yes, I do have my window down because currently my air conditioner needs to be charged, so it is hot, and the gas or the fumes from where the exhaust isn't hooked up, it's coming right in the car. So alright, so just cruising around, the gas seems to be fine. I'm sitting at a 14.5, it's about what it's averaging, 14.5 to 15. It's still running a tad lean, but we're just driving with what I'm going to be doing, it's fine. Alright, so now we're more on the straightaway here. Even punching it, let me roll the window a bit. So even giving it some gas, it shot up to about 16. I mean, on the air fuel ratio. So the computer is compensating for the more load that it's getting. But it's just weird on that exhaust leak. I have got to figure that out. But all in all, it is running better. Like, I could tell a big difference. Because another thing it was doing too, every time you would go with the downshift and everything, it was popping and backfiring like crazy. Like, I mean, it backfires occasionally, but not like it was doing. Like, every time I let off the gas, if I was going slow, it was like pop, pop. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I was like, what the heck is this thing doing? Oh, I know y'all can hear that. We've got to figure out what the exhaust leak is, so we're gonna work on that next. We're gonna get up here and turn around and head back to the house. Try to see if we can figure out this exhaust leak, and let's see if it pops. Look at that. And I got a plastic trim piece, a little piece on the side over here that likes to drag. Circle here. My gosh, that thing sounds bad. Alright, so we're gonna get up here on the highway. We're gonna take the highway back around to the house, see how it does at 55-60 cruising. Because since I do currently drive this thing right now from Knoxville to Nashville, that's my main concern right now. It's just cruising. I'm not really worried about boosting. I'm not really worried about trying to get fuel while, you know, gassing it or whatever, but it is running 10 times better. Even gassing it, but I was watching my ratio. The fuel is kind of in and out, so I think the next project after we get the exhaust hooked up and fixed is going to have to be the fuel pump. I'm going to go with that next. See if that helps out and just gives it that extra umph. And if it still looks like it's running a little lean, then I guess we'll be in the market for some injectors. So if you guys know anybody that's selling some injectors, I'll probably be in the market for them here pretty soon. Because it looks like it's definitely going to need more fuel, but I already got the fuel pump, so that's definitely going to be another project for another day, because I can't drive this thing back to Nashville anymore with this exhaust not hooked up. And it's really not that loud, it's just the gas fume, or the fumes, or whatever you want to call it, from the exhaust. It's a killer. That's why I constantly just leave my window down, even if it's raining or cold or what have you. But all right, so we're gonna get back to the house and we're gonna try to investigate this, and hopefully today, if we get time, get the exhaust up. If not, that'll be the next video. All right, we'll come back. Pull for you. Gonna do a little pull for you. Sorry for the bumpy.